boss, bitch. For sure. Listen to the mind of an Terry Smooth. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm in the care of God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And what is sin exactly? Now, for the most part, like I said, sin. Now, sin is another interpretation of going in. And I done told y'all the importance and the power behind that motherfucking term in. Because before we even put it into sigils and symbols and letters and things of that nature, you need to know that there's an energy behind it. And the energy behind it is actually trapping or what they call that, or sealing, or you know what I'm saying, a form of structure or a temperament or a state of being that a spirit can get trapped in. So keep that in mind anytime we talk about in. Now, for the most part, going in is like going into a jail cell. Now, we all can make a heaven out of our jail cell. You know what I'm saying? We all can make a heaven out of our goddamn hell. But we need to know that's what we actually doing. And if we don't know that's what we doing, then motherfucker, we could be in a motherfucking jail cell forever and not even know we in a jail cell. And then the better somebody know how to make their jail cell a heaven or paradise, then motherfuckers think that's the right thing to do just because it worked, not even knowing that the overall perspective of it is your ass in a goddamn jail cell. Almost like the perspective of one of those motherfucking ancient Greek philosophers. I forgot which one it was, but they had this idea that if it was a group of men who was just staring at the wall, looking at the shadows and of horses and things of that nature, then that's all they're gonna know. Then the moment somebody released these men and let their eyes shine on the real world and let the real sun hit their eyes, you ain't gonna be able to tell them everything that they was experiencing when they was just staring at the wall is fake. You're not gonna be able to convince them that. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same kind of aspect that we're going through. Damn, I always do that. Y'all forget to delete the last videos. But look, like I said, this concept of going in, look, when you create as a spirit, when you create an idea, a conscious, a wave, a force, a thought form, a feeling and emotion, and then once you go into that as a spirit, right, if you don't start to realize that you're not that, you will start to believe that you are these things. You'll start to believe that you are this thought. You are this feeling. And that is the beginning stages of a spirit getting lost. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to get into this concept of seeing, going in to something. Now, here's the thing, right? Because you'll get a lost, indoctrinated, religious, apologetic ass motherfucker that's lost into some Abrahamic religion or something. And then just because I'm utilizing the term sin, they're going to be quick to say like, oh, look, here's a new ager borrowing from our worldview again. But this what the fuck you need to understand, right? You are just in a more indoctrinated and lost version of what we all doing as goddamn spirits. And actually, if you want to get technical, Taoism or Hinduism explain this a lot better than the Abrahamic religions explain it. It's just the way of Abrahamics, the way that they explaining it is due to the form of sin. But it just means detaching from a shape and form that you lost yourself into as a spirit, because all shapes and forms expire. The moment you create a conscious, a wave that can manifest and become dense all the way to this reality that we see as physical forms. All these have expiration dates. So for the most part, you create a time, you create a form, a shape, a body. So you create a time frame for something. So as a spirit, if you get lost into that, then you're going to go down with it because you're going to start believing it's it. So once things start to go against that nature, go against that wave, go against that thought form, that feeling and emotion, that logic, that material gain you have manifested in your life, you're going to start to feel spiritually damaged, like you don't got what it takes, or you're missing something in your life, aka you're spiritually lost and have became attached to whatever you have got lost into as far as the light. And the first ramifications of light is thought forms, concepts, ideas, chakras, waves, consciousness. That's what spirits create. So those are forms, aka that we go into. So this is where we create the concept of information, because you go in a form. And it's a nation in that form, a whole bunch of many different shapes and forms that you have to figure out. Then once you figure out, you get out of that form. So you receive some more intelligible information. You see what I'm saying? You have more knowledge and wisdom, because throughout that experience of going in that form of nations, you figured it out. You got out of it. So now you can see it from an overall perspective as something you just got out of, an experience, aka you figured out something, aka now you have more wisdom and knowledge based upon what you have just went through. So this is where information even come from. What I'm talking about. So don't even get lost into a science or an apologetic motherfucker, because they're just doing some more indoctrinated versions of what I'm explaining right now. So, All forms of information is good as a body of knowledge. But let's not get lost into what it actually is. And that's what my channel is about. Subconscious community, shout out. Soul group. That's what it actually is before it get manifested into sciences and mental instabilities and apologetics and things of that nature. We're at the clearest space what I'm talking about right now of it. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. So when we start to talk about sin, right? Now, the reason why the S letter is in front of it, because S represents the snake or the serpent or the S. And for the most part, these is one of the first shapes and forms that the spirit take to experience realms of realities. So you could correlate this with fire, because it's the way that fire moves. You see the way fire moves? It moves like a motherfucker S. So for the when a spirit separates itself, it's a frequency. Once it starts to vibrate, it moves in duality like the number 2. But when you move the 2 and look at it from what it actually is, you see that it's making an S, aka you see a spirit in motion before it's taking a physical shape and form. You're seeing it correlate its Merkaba, aka correlate a state of awareness around its state of being. So it could be a ghost, it could be in a shapeless, formless, non-flammable gas like bacteria or archive or some nitrogen or something from the periodic table that you create as the first spectrum to be your Merkaba as a whole first. You see what I'm saying? But before we get into that, right, that is the first concept you go into. But that concept is like your soft spot. So that's you to resonate your state of being. Once you start to create your solar plexus and the rest of your feminine and masculine external sons of gods, after that, your solar systems and shit like that. Once you start to create those things after that, these things are going to be the physical representations that shields your Merkaba, shield your soft spot that you don't want people to actually see. These are just going to be the external representations of your state of being that you want, how you want to be seen. So people don't be crossing that boundary of reaching your soft spot. Then your spirit have to go through extreme natures in order to create another comfortable position. Whatever space that is in. Your spirit is your space. But for the most part, when we're talking about seeing, the reason why S is in front of it, right? Because it's one of the first shapes and forms. So just letting you know that the idea and the concept is first, because the fire is first, the snake is first, that's even the first sound. You know what I'm saying? So all that is first and things of that nature. Now, when we got N, we got I-N after that. I done told y'all the importance and the power behind that motherfucking word N. Whether it's utilizing it in the term of friend, N-E-N-D, sin, S-I-N, or just purely going in, I-N, going in something, walking into a gate, a stargate, a portal, a conscious, an idea, a state of being, or just the motherfucker term in itself and the way that the letter moves. A spirit getting fucked up in a fucked up alignment. Because if a spirit ain't moving smoothly, right, it's moving chopped up. And this is where you get left brain energy coming in, where you try to logically construct everything and practicalize and turn a 360 circle into a 360 square. 90 plus 90 plus 90 plus 90. That's 4 lines of a direct angle and boxing yourself out so you can live within that own space as a spirit. But for the most part, this is how you actually end up getting lost, because when you look at the N itself, right, all letters and signs and symbols is us trying to track spiritual travels. And then we create a shape and form, a concept, and put a meaning and reasoning and an idea and thought form and a philosophical point of view behind it in order to understand that travel. So that shape and form, we create the noumenal of it and think it's independent, but it's something that we're doing because we create these things, and the thought form end up becoming external. This is the mass, the son, the descendant, the father that we call it. And the first thought will be the first father. You see what I'm saying? But let's not get religious yet, because we ain't talking about that. Now, when you look at the end, right, so for the most part, a spirit is not moving smoothly. Once it get into an N type of angle, it's line, another square 90 degree, just kind of 90 degree, then it stops at 3 90 degree angles and things of that nature. Then you have to do a lowercase n, which is a arch, aka being able to see something from a broad perspective that you just went into. So this when you get woman cutting the circle in half, aka cutting the O, the letter O in half, and then here's where you're getting a half moon, but aka you're getting a pregnant woman. So a O represents container. So any letter that got O in it represents a container or something that holds into something or something you can hold. So for the most part, cold is a higher frequency vibration of something that contains something. That's why hospitals is cold, because it could contain life of the bacteria or the pills that they're going to utilize for you. Otherwise, if it's too much heat, too much transformation, the things that they're going to utilize to kill whatever bacteria you got inside you won't work. AKA you already in heat, you already hot, so you got a whole bunch of shit that's transforming into you already. So Things got to hold on before things kill you. You see what I'm saying? Now, that's a higher frequency of hold, cold, even fold. When you fold in something, that's to maintain a condition of something. So when you fold your clothes, you're trying to maintain a condition of it so it don't get wrinkly. You see what I'm saying? When you think about holding, females hold in kids in their womb, holding something in a wallet or a purse and things of that. All these, anything that got O in it is something that's is a container, and anything that's an off brand to it is a more indoctrinated version of that. So here's where you get refrigerator and freezer. This is a more indoctrinated version of doing something that could contain something. This is why the refrigerator have to be in the shape of a square. I'm getting into a whole different concept though, but for the most part, we want to stay on track, like I said, going into something. So when we start to talk about seeing, right now, seeing, reason why I said Taoism and Hinduism explained it a lot better than the Abrahamic religions and things of that nature, because they're not lost into one spirit that's making them do certain things. So for the most part, this spirit is not going to make you look at you going into shapes and forms that this spirit didn't like you doing something wrong. There's certain shapes and forms out here that you need to experience for your spirit, but based upon you being lost into one of these Abrahamic religions, you would disregard a shape and form going into that because the spirit that you're following didn't like that shape and form. And just because that shape and form didn't work for that spirit don't mean it's not going to work for you. That's why a lot of you preachers don't manifest as well as a lot of other preachers or apologetics and things of that nature, because the way you're trying to do it in a specific way, thinking that it's the right way to do, and then your spiritual nature is at fault. So you're gonna experience resistance from the universe. That's what you need to understand. It's all about personal state of beings. Based upon what kind of person you is, what kind of personality your spirit is, that's what kind of spirit you're gonna follow, and that's what the spirit you're gonna cling on to the most. So it's like hundreds of spirits in the Bible. So you got certain apologetics that might clean more towards Calvinism. You got certain apologetics that might clean more towards Catholics. Or Judaism and things of that nature. But you need to know this is just their personality. This is just their temperament. And they just agree more with that spirit that they resonate with. So that's their state of being, and that's the heaven and hell that they're creating. And when they start to cast that on to others, they're putting more blood on their own hands. So they can't be blaming nobody else for the trial and tribulations that they're going through in their life. So if you are a religious person into apologetics and you're into one of these forms of Abrahamic religion, you be experiencing some catastrophic ass trial and tribulations in your life, and tell me I'm goddamn lying. I don't even have to know you personally, and I know that you got some catastrophic moments going on in your life. And the reason I know that is because the spirit that you following is in a certain state of being. So if you going with their likes and its dislikes as far as that spirit, you're going to manifest the same experiences that this spirit went through. And then when I read y'all Bibles, it's 90% of y'all Bible be catastrophic ass shit the spirit be going through. It be little to no positivity. The little positive it have in it, it's not worth it. All that stress and trial and tribulation and burden putting on your spirit and indoctrination, all that shit ain't worth it. Ain't worth the little bit of prosperity that spirit give you. That spirit is in detriment and turmoil. But that's a whole nother fucking video because they don't hear me. So we gonna keep going talking about some real shit though. You know what I'm saying? And the real true, I hate to even say the word God after I just start talking about that, but the real true God, the real true spirits and spiritual family and stuff like that, and the soul group and things of that nature that was originally in the space before other spirits jumped into other spaces and signed their signature behind that energy and wanted to play their role, that maintain a position somewhere because they was demonic and they didn't want to leave a certain thought form or idea. They didn't want to kill that. So they wanted other spirits that resonated with that state of being to worship that thought form also. And then since that spirit was the author of that thought form, that spirit can live forever in that position, in that realm, and create all kind of chakras and constellations to always be an overall authority or government or God with all the lesser spirits that resonate with that state of being, because y'all all attached to that idol. Y'all all attached to that feeling. Y'all all attached to that thought form. Y'all all worship that concept. So y'all gonna keep that thought form working in that space, in that dark realm also, not knowing that in the totality of the universe, what you doing wrong. See, I'm Archangel Uriel. You might not understand everything I'm talking about right now, but goddamn it, in time you is. We in the age of centaurs right now, and based upon our solar system, we're going through the body, the being we live in. as a solar system, we're floating through like the Shin area. So we already built that Shin area. So we already experienced the age of Aquarius. We are the age of Aquarius. We are Aquarians compared to other constellations and universes and things of that nature. Aries through Pisces, all the constellations in between Aries, Taurus, Gemini, all the constellations through Pisces make one person. So to other beings, that's just one star. To other constellations, that's just one person in one space. This Lucifer motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? But that's another video. But getting into circumstances and situations, you need to understand that Aries is be the head of this person and all the way to the feet. Pisces will be the feet. So your Aries, your first house space is your head all the way to your feet. This is and if you tell me I'm lying, why you think medical science it works? Why you think they need to know your birthday? Why you think medical science work? Why? I don't give a fuck what nobody tell you. If this the way the world is, it's the way the world is. Why the fuck you gonna try to defend your indoctrination? This the way the world is. So why the fuck so get with the program? They're gonna start helping shit out to make it a better world. Other than that, the indoctrination is not helping the better world. It's helping the world of the demon that you following. And that world is always going to be opposite to somebody else's world. Because I done told you, the better we know how to relate, the better we can have a better universe. The better we play opposites, we're being all of our own Satan. AKA, that's just choosing sides. You being opposing to another thought form or idea that another spirit did authored. So you being a Satan right along with the motherfucker you calling a Satan. Right along with the motherfucker you calling a devil. Both of y'all are playing out the energy signature of being a Satan. So before you get lost into your indoctrination and your religion version of it, of thinking Satan is an actual person, you need to know that this is a state of being that once upon a time there was an entity, a spirit, in a body, aka a deity, that pushed out that idea and thought form first. But that spirit probably didn't call itself Lucifer. That spirit didn't probably call itself that. That spirit was just living his goddamn life. And that spirit probably in another life trying to change right now. But can't change because so many people so many other spirits, persons, aka, then signed their signature behind the energy that spirit then created. Behind the forces and consciousness that spirit created. The thought form of that. And then other spirits think they could do it better. Be better opposers. You know what I'm saying? AKA, here's why you got all these fucking denominations and goddamn religion. They just being better opposers, being better Satans. So when y'all trying to tell motherfuckers that they going to hell or that they're devils, no, that's y'all shit. That's the shit y'all creating for yourselves. Y'all can only go there because y'all the only ones utilizing y'all three spiritual strengths to create that imagination. Your spiritual strength is your faith, belief, and your imagination and creativity. Y'all use y'all spirituality to believe in hell. So y'all, that's where y'all going. Y'all heaven and hell is the same thing. Is y'all gonna have times of looking at it like it's heaven? Y'all gonna have times of looking at it like it's hell. But that's where y'all going. The moment another spirit don't believe that, they can't go there. Because a spirit could only go where it's creating. So if we're all in a realm and we're all being reborn, a spirit is only going to create what it believes. You can put this into work now. Believe in something with all of your trust and go out on a limb. I guarantee the universe and God start showing you signs and start making your dreams come true. Start not believing in yourself and start thinking you worthless. That's what religions be putting y'all in spells. So y'all be thinking y'all saying things, thinking y'all saying the right thing. Well, really spiritually, you putting yourself in a spell. When you say, I'm nothing without Jesus Christ. I'm nothing. God got to be here and this, that. You put yourself in a spell. So that's what you experience. Nothing. You're going to experience a whole bunch of other people being in their own power, but not agreeing with your theologies and shit, and you being in a negative state of being, thinking the world is wrong, and they're getting their desires based upon them doing something wrong, and they're not living in Jesus Christ. So now you have to go through extreme divinations. You have to tell somebody they going to hell after this life, forever. Not knowing that as a spirit, you believe in that. So when you die, that's where you're going. Because that's what you believe in your experiences. So the life that you go to and be reborn into as a Christian or whatever is that hell. You're going to be reborn into a life where you experience being nothing and you experience everybody around you being something and not agreeing with the spirit that you following. Do you get it? It's a psychological thing. I don't know how else to kick it to you motherfuckers. See what I'm saying? No, look. Don't let no fucked up psychological ass spirit that keep creating retarded ass solar systems make you retarded. Damn. Now look, check this out. When we talk about sin is just reason why we're utilizing the word sin, S-I-N, because this is just the spirits, Peter and Paul and them, this was their way of interpreting getting lost into a shape and form. So anytime you get lost into a feeling, a concept, a relationship, a material, an idea about something, you get lost into a chakra. You get lost into a consciousness as a spirit. And once you get lost into something that's created, everything that's created has a time span and it's going to expire. This is how we even created the terminology of ages and time and shit like that. But we doing this as spirits. You best to know that. You better believe that. So at the most part, like I said, you better start believing your goddamn self and stop believing in other spirits. And I mean that in the most literal sense when I'm going to break it down once I end this. Because y'all know my philosophy. I believe everything, but I believe in nothing. So you got a bunch of atheists and shit like that that's naive to the fact that they're taking the scientific terminology of believing in something and getting lost into the indoctrination versions of it. Here and then when things be going off in their life that they don't believe because they're atheists or they're not spiritual and shit like that, then they fail to realize or they fail to understand what's actually happening in their life. So they got to chalk it up to going to get psychologists or something like, or chalk it up to going to get medication, or chalking it up to getting on the internet for thousands and thousands of hours, looking at other psychologists and philosophers come up with terms to these motherfucker mental instabilities. Well, motherfucker, this is some motherfucker shit we all doing spiritually. Do you get it? Motherfucker, look, a lot of atheists is way more spiritual than religion people, because a lot of religious people then gave their spiritual energy to another spirit. So an atheist is a atheist, a point of reference for the first time. You see what I'm saying? So that's a thought, a conscious of the thought form or something, right? So atheist, a person with their own individual theism. So just because it may disagree with the lost indoctrinated version of what y'all think theism is, and the people who in apologetics, they say what I just said don't make sense. And then the atheists will look at me and say what I said don't make sense. But when y'all get out of y'all lost indoctrinations, y'all see how it make all the sense in the world. An atheist is a person with their own individual, a star, a point of reference for the first time. They got their own idea about theism, aka their own idea about God or epistemology or interpreting what we're being influenced by. So you should have said that's what an atheist is. So they might not believe in what a theist believes, because an atheist may have their own individual beliefs. So an atheist and a theist argument in general to a person like me, Archangel Uriel, you're both lost. I would kill both of you. But that's another video. Because by me saying this, you will be lost into some form of debating indoctrination and think you know what kind of angle I will attack an argument, even if we had a titled debate. See what I'm saying? I will fuck you niggas all over. You niggas better chill the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have to debate. You know what I'm saying? Because I can just get into the forms of knowledge. Now, when we talk about sin, right? This is the Abrahamic religion of understanding the concept of when you get lost into something external outside of yourself and you don't believe in yourself anymore, then you're going to go down with it. And it becomes a sin because you separate yourself from yourself. As a spirit, you separate from your spiritual nature, your space, your nothingness, into everything that you created as a spirit, that you thought you was you. So you separated yourself, your God, your El. Your spirit, your space, you separated yourself from that. And as a spirit, you got lost into all the creations that you have got lost in. So that becomes a sin. You separate yourself from yourself. You see what I'm saying? A lot of Abrahamic religions, y'all be following the spirit that did that first and y'all continue doing that to this day. That's why y'all be in fucked up state of beings. That's another video. But for the most part, like I said, that's what motherfucker a sin is. Now, like I said, getting back, I believe everything, but I don't believe in nothing. Because once you believe in something, you're as a spirit, you're going into a body of water. You're going into something that another spirit have motherfucker created. And goddamn, that could become your goddamn nightmare. So when I say I believe everything, I believe everything. Yeah, I believe that shit. You could be a motherfucker who be purely in your imagination and none of that shit don't make sense. I believe you in your imagination, but I don't believe in that shit because as a spirit, I'm not going to use my 3 spiritual natures to help that shit create it. See what I'm saying? So I believe everything, but I don't believe in nothing. Key word, I don't believe in no thing. That means you believe in your spirit. So you stay in your spirit. When you believe in no thing, you believe in no shape and form. You believe in your space, your spirit. You don't believe in something. You know that your spirit just creates something and try to become these things. But you don't believe in nothing. Because you're not in nothing. You're just your spirit, your space. So when you believe in no thing, that's a person believing in their spirit. See what I'm saying? So I believe everything, but I believe in nothing. So I don't believe in nothing of the world, but I believe in nothing because I'm in no thing as a spirit. See what I'm saying? Real shit. Y'all lost and limited because y'all language that y'all use. So just as a spirit, you probably can't even get in this space because of what you indoctrinated in. You got to clear a lot of shit and be able to be in a space to come back down here to utilize and chop up all this language and shit to be able to come to people in a real way, regardless of how you're saying it. Flight Boss, bitch. Goddamn, I love y'all.